Imagine a home with almost no furniture, a bride whose wedding gift was a simple mattress, a groom whose armor was sold just to afford the basics, and yet, this home became the most honored household in the history of Islam. This marriage became the blueprint of love, the symbol of sacrifice, the definition of faith. This is not the story of royalty, not the story of wealth, not the story of luxury. This is the story of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra, a marriage written in the heavens, lived with humility on earth, and remembered with love until today. A marriage built on purity and purpose is not shaped by wealth, titles, or worldly status. It is shaped by sincerity, by two hearts that seek Allah before they seek each other, by two souls that choose righteousness over glamour, and by two individuals who understand that the goal of marriage is not only companionship, but spiritual growth. When we look at the marriage of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra, we see a powerful reflection of this truth. Their union did not begin with lavish ceremonies or extravagant expectations. It began with humility, taqwa, and a shared intention to journey toward Allah together. Ali Ra did not walk into the home of the Prophet with treasures or promises of luxury. He walked in with a heart full of courage, a character full of sincerity, and a soul full of love for Allah and His Messenger. And Fatima Ra, despite being the daughter of the best man to ever walk the earth, did not seek a husband of rank or wealth. She sought a man who feared Allah, who was loyal, and who possessed a heart of purity. Their marriage became a testament to the idea that what truly matters is not what you bring in your hands, but what you bring in your character. Purity was the foundation of their home, purity in intention, purity in actions, purity in love. They entered their marriage not expecting perfection from each other, but striving for excellence together. Their purpose was not to impress the world, but to please their Creator. Even in their simplest days, even when their home contained very little, they carried a richness that many wealthy homes lack, the richness of sincerity, trust, and mutual respect. Their marriage reminds us that when the intention is pure, Allah places barakah in every moment. When the purpose is noble, even the smallest acts, sharing a meal, supporting one another, facing hardship together, become sources of immense reward. Ali Ra and Fatima Ra were not only husband and wife, they were partners in Deen, partners in patience, partners in the pursuit of Jannah. Their marriage shows that the strongest bonds are formed when two people work toward a higher goal, when they prioritize faith over appearances, and when they understand that every step taken for the sake of Allah strengthens the bond between them. This is what makes their marriage so extraordinary. It was built on purity, sustained with sincerity, and lived with the purpose of seeking Allah's pleasure above all else. Simplicity was not a burden in the lives of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra. It was their most beautiful treasure. Their home did not shine with gold or silver, nor did it echo with the sounds of luxury. Instead, it glowed with sincerity, humility, and the quiet strength of two hearts that found contentment in whatever Allah had given them. In a world where marriages are often judged by material standards, their example teaches us that true abundance lies not in possessions, but in peace and purpose. Their wedding was humble. Their furniture was minimal. Their meals were simple, yet they lived with a sense of richness that many wealthy homes fail to experience. Fatima Ra worked tirelessly, grinding grain until her hands blistered, cooking and cleaning with whatever little they had. Ali Ra labored outside, fetching water, tending to tasks, and supporting his family with his effort and devotion. Neither of them complained about what they lacked. Instead, they were grateful for what Allah blessed them with, understanding that the true measure of a home is not the size of its rooms, but the purity of the hearts that live in it. Their simplicity was not forced, it was embraced. They chose contentment over comparison, gratitude over dissatisfaction. When they had food, they thanked Allah. When they had little, they still thanked Him. This attitude brought tranquility that no wealth could buy. Their home was small, but it was filled with dua. Their belongings were few, but their blessings were many. They understood that the dunya is temporary, while the reward of patience and gratitude is eternal. Even in their moments of hardship, they discovered beauty in their simplicity. A shared meal held more meaning. A small act of kindness brought deeper connection. A quiet moment of worship illuminated their home more than any lamp could. They lived with the awareness that simplicity is not a sign of deficiency. It is a sign of Barakah, a sign that the heart is attached to the Creator rather than the creation. Simplicity allowed them to focus on what truly matters, building a marriage rooted in love, faith, and mutual support. Their hearts were free from the weight of unnecessary desires, and because of that, they tasted a sweetness that only contentment brings. Their lives prove that when a home is built on gratitude and humility, even the smallest blessing becomes a treasure, and even the simplest life becomes a source of timeless inspiration. Shared struggles have a way of weaving hearts together more deeply than comfort ever could. In the marriage of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra, their strength did not come from ease, luxury, or convenience. It emerged from the trials they faced side by side, the burdens they carried together, and the unwavering loyalty they showed one another in times of difficulty. Their love was not shaped by perfect moments. It was shaped by the moments that tested their patience, challenged their endurance, and revealed the sincerity of their hearts. They lived through days when food was scarce and nights when exhaustion weighed heavily on their shoulders. Fatima Ra worked tirelessly inside the home, grinding grain by hand until her palms grew rough and blistered, carrying water until her back ached. Ali Ra worked outside, enduring hardship to support his family, returning home tired yet still offering help, comfort, and kindness. Each one saw the pain of the other, and instead of complaining or comparing, they responded with compassion and partnership. Their shared struggles became a source of unity. When one felt weak, the other became a source of strength. When one carried a burden, the other helped lighten it. They did not blame each other for the difficulties they faced. Instead, they supported each other with patience and positivity. Their marriage teaches us that the strongest relationships are built when couples stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "We will get through this together." Even in their hardest days, they protected each other's hearts. Fatima Ra never looked down on Ali Ra for the poverty they lived in, nor did Ali Ra express disappointment over the challenges in their home. They understood that the value of a spouse is not measured by worldly success, but by character, sincerity, and the willingness to stand together during storms. Every hardship they endured together became a building block of their resilience and a testimony to their devotion. Through their struggles, they developed a strength based not on muscles or wealth, but on faith. They learned to turn to Allah together, to make dua together, to find comfort in worship and patience. Their relationship blossomed because it was watered with empathy, strengthened with sacrifice, and protected with trust. Their shared struggles became the very thing that made their marriage extraordinary, because struggle, when faced with love and faith, becomes a powerful source of strength that no external force can break. Respect and character stood at the very center of the relationship between Ali Ra and Fatima Ra, shaping their marriage into one of the most beautiful examples in Islamic history. Their love was not built on grand gestures or emotional displays. It was built on the quiet dignity of how they treated each other every single day. They understood that a home thrives not on wealth or words, but on manners, empathy, and the way hearts are handled with care. Their marriage teaches us that respect is not optional. It is the language of love, the backbone of harmony, and the foundation of every blessed relationship. Ali Ra never spoke to Fatima Ra with harshness, and she never raised her voice at him. Their conversations carried softness, even in moments of stress or fatigue. They approached each other with humility, understanding that words can heal just as easily as they can hurt. Their character was a reflection of the teachings of the Prophet, who emphasized kindness, gentleness, and mercy within marriage. They did not seek to win arguments. They sought to win each other's hearts through sincerity and patience. Their respect was also visible in their roles within the home. Fatima Ra honored Ali Ra as her husband, supporting him, encouraging him, and recognizing his efforts even when life was challenging. Ali Ra, in return, never considered household work beneath him. He assisted her when she was tired, he lightened her burdens when she struggled, and he always treated her with the dignity she deserved as the daughter of the Prophet and as his partner in Deen. What makes their example so powerful is that their respect was not conditional. It did not fade during hardship, nor did it depend on convenience. They respected each other because they understood that every believer is honored by Allah and that a spouse is a trust placed in one's care. This understanding shaped their character and guided their behavior. They guarded each other's emotions, protected each other's dignity, and forgave each other's shortcomings. They practiced patience when overwhelmed, compassion when hurt, and gratitude when blessed. They showed the world that a home becomes peaceful when hearts are gentle, tongues are controlled, and intentions are pure. Their character illuminated their home more than any wealth ever could. Through their example, we learn that true strength lies in kindness, true beauty lies in manners, and true harmony lies in respecting one another for the sake of Allah. Trials came into the lives of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra not to break them, but to refine them. Their marriage was not a journey free of hardship. It was a journey shaped by it. Yet every difficulty they faced only polished their character, strengthened their bond, and deepened their reliance on Allah. Rather than allowing challenges to create distance between them, they used them as opportunities to grow closer, to Allah and to each other. They experienced poverty, exhaustion, and moments of deep emotional strain. Fatima Ra endured the weight of household duties with very limited means, often pushing her body beyond its comfort. Ali Ra faced the demands of physical labor, the responsibilities of supporting his family, and the immense pressures of the early Muslim community. They met these trials not with bitterness but with remarkable gratitude. They accepted hardship as part of life's test, understanding that Allah purifies those He loves through patience and endurance. One of the most striking aspects of their story is that they never turned their struggles into weapons against each other. Hardship did not become an excuse for anger, blame, or resentment. Instead, they protected each other emotionally, knowing that the world outside could be heavy, but their home should be a sanctuary of peace. In this way, their trials refined their hearts, teaching them compassion, empathy, and resilience. When Fatima Ra once asked for a servant due to the pain in her hands, and the Prophet instead gifted them the words of tasbih before sleep, they embraced that spiritual treasure with contentment. They chose remembrance over comfort, showing the world that faith transforms burdens into blessings. Their trials became spiritual ladders, lifting them to higher ranks of closeness to Allah. Ali Ra and Fatima Ra learned to see hardship not as a punishment, but as a polishing process, like fire that shapes iron into something strong and valuable. They embraced the idea that every challenge carries hidden mercy, and that patience is not passive suffering but active devotion. Through their endurance, they demonstrated that love grows deeper when two hearts stand together through difficulty. Their marriage teaches us that trials are inevitable, but they do not define us. Our response to them does. When faced with faith, unity, and sincerity, trials build a foundation of unshakable strength that no worldly struggle can destroy. A household loved by Allah is not identified by its size, its wealth, or its decorations. It is recognized by the light that fills it, the light of faith, sincerity, worship, and character. The home of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra was one such home. Though small in space and simple in possessions, it was vast in spiritual beauty. Their home carried a peace that did not come from comfort, but from constant remembrance of Allah and steadfast devotion to His commands. Every corner of their house reflected humility, every day held gratitude, and every night echoed with worship. What made their household so beloved to Allah was not only their lineage, but the purity of how they lived. Fatima Ra, the beloved daughter of the Prophet, filled her home with modesty, sincerity, and devotion. She embodied patience and compassion, transforming daily difficulties into acts of worship. Ali Ra, known for his courage and knowledge, filled the home with justice, wisdom, and humility. Together, they built a spiritual atmosphere that elevated their house into one of the most honored homes ever known. This was a household where the Quran was recited regularly, where du'as rose to the heavens, where hearts softened in remembrance, and where every struggle was met with trust in Allah. Their home did not rely on material comfort, it relied on spiritual richness. They understood that when Allah's love enters a home, even the simplest dwelling becomes a palace of serenity. That is why their home, despite its poverty, carried blessings that continue to inspire millions today. Love for Allah shaped their marriage, parenting, and daily life. Their home nurtured Hassan Ra and Hussein Ra, the leaders of the youth of Jannah. It raised Zainab Ra and Kulthum Ra, women of immense strength and faith. This was not accidental. This was the result of a household built upon hikr, discipline, humility, and unwavering commitment to righteousness. The manner in which they lived left a legacy of spiritual excellence for generations to follow. Their household teaches us that the true measure of a home is not the luxury it holds but the values it cultivates. A home becomes beloved by Allah when kindness is practiced, when patience is honored, when forgiveness is embraced, and when worship becomes the heartbeat of daily life. The home of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra stands as a timeless reminder that any family, regardless of wealth, can attain greatness if they build their lives around faith, sincerity, and the constant seeking of Allah's pleasure. The story of Ali Ra and Fatima Ra is more than a chapter of history. It is a living guide for every home, every marriage, and every soul seeking Allah's pleasure. Their lives remind us that a blessed family is not built through wealth, luxury, or perfection, but through sincerity, patience, sacrifice, and a deep connection to Allah. They showed that purity of intention is greater than any material gift, that simplicity brings a peace wealth cannot buy, and that struggles, when faced together, become stepping stones to strength. They taught us that respect and character are the true pillars of love, and that trials refine the believer into someone more resilient and more connected to their Creator. Their home, small in size but vast in Barakah, became a beacon of light for the entire Ummah. Through their example, we learn that the real measure of success in family life is not in worldly comfort, but in spiritual richness. A home filled with hikr, kindness, humility, and mutual support becomes a home that Allah loves. And when Allah loves a home, nothing can take away its peace, its purpose, or its blessings. As we reflect on their journey, may we strive to build our own lives with the same sincerity. May our intentions be pure, our hearts be humble, our relationships be built on respect, and our homes be places where Allah is remembered. Their story is not simply to be admired, it is to be followed. And if we adopt even a portion of their character, we too can transform our families into sources of light, guidance, and lasting barakah.